wrapping up my 5-part spot on the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Fearsome Foes box set. I saved what I believe to be one of the best figures for the last. And on today's spot, what we're going to be doing is we're having a look at Lizard. This is one of my favorite figures from this set. I think probably the real sellers for this box set, for me at least, were the Rhino, as well as this guy right here. The Vulture is really nice. Carnage isn't bad, but I mean the fact that Carnage has been reissued, I definitely say this is probably the figure of the set is the Lizard here. He's so detailed. The color scheme is nice. The paint application I think is pretty good. There's no real misses here and there. But I mean, it's a really nice looking figure. I'll take him off the base, just so I can first show you guys the base. Base is nothing spectacular at all. Again, it's a face of Lizard, which, I mean, it would have been nice if it was something different. And you guys can tell me down below, personally, I don't think faces on bases, which rhymes, but faces on stands, figure stands, I think just make no sense to me. I mean, if anything, you could have made a base with like lizard skin on it, or you know, something, or grass. Make it look like more something that a figure would stand on. Not like, why would Lizard be standing on a base that has lizard on it? See what I'm saying? Like, am I crazy? I don't know. But nothing really to write home about, aside from the fact that it's nice to have the figure on his stand. But we'll move that out of the way. Getting a good look at the detailing on Lizard. I think it's definitely a nice meld between realistic and yet still more like a comic book feel to it. And you see his tail and everything else. Nicely detailed. I really like the purple that they used for his pants. I also like the fact that he's got a knee that's been ripped on his pants. You can see his skin underneath. Nice detailing on the feet. I mean, there's not a lot to say that's bad about this figure. I mean, this figure has so much going for it. The one thing I have a problem with this figure, and it's not a big thing. Obviously, you can have Lizard's feet flat. I kind of originally thought, oh, you know what? It'd be kind of neat if I have the feet on kind of like an angle, kind of like he's ready to lunge at someone. The only downside though is where they've put the peg on the feet. Unless you have him propped against something, it would have been nice if you could actually have put the figure on a stand, but have the pegs further onto his toe area rather than on his foot. So because this way, I mean, I can't really have the figure leaning. But I mean, that's a small problem. That's really only something that I would probably have done. Now, in the way of, again, touching base on different details on the face, you got really nice eyes on the Lizard. I also like the fact that, as you can see, you can close his mouth, which is nice. I mean, to me, I prefer to have Lizard's mouth open, especially if he's lunging towards Spider-Man or something on the display base or on the diorama or whatever, if you have it set up. But it is nice that you can close his mouth as well. I also really like the fact he's got this rubbery jacket kind of thing. If you've seen my review of the Doc Ock from the Sinister Six set, and one thing I had a problem with the fact that whenever they put a jacket on a figure, at least most figures, they tend to cheap out and they put just a fabric cloak, especially if they're reusing that mold. Like Beast was a good example. Beast from the X-Men Marvel Legends set. Beast, they just took the initial Beast and then they just threw a white, looked like a house coat on him. Lizard here is a good example of, you know, the difference between, it's like night and day. I mean, you put a fabric outfit on a guy, it looks like you just threw a Barbie doll jacket on him. You put like a nicely sculpted, rubbery kind of plastic jacket on him, and the figure looks awesome. I think that looks so nice. Really, really nice. Now, in the way of his articulation, I know I've talked a lot already just about his detailings, but he's got just a swivel in his head. It doesn't look like he can bend it slightly, but it's more just a swivel back and forth. As I've already mentioned, he has articulation in the mouth. He has articulation in the shoulders, the bicep. He has 2 points in the arm, or in the elbow. He has a rotation in the... Does he have rotation? You know what? I don't think he has rotation in the wrist. But he does have a pivot in the wrist as well as his fingers. Don't break. He has articulation in the fingers as well. Same idea with this hand. As you can see, this one's a little looser. He has articulation in the hand, so it looks like he can grab something, but I prefer to have the hands extended like he's lunging for you. He has articulation in the waist, in the leg, in the thigh. Now this figure is stiff like the Vulture figure, which again is good for me. I prefer that. 2 points in the knee he has. He has articulation in the ankle as well as in the toe. One other thing as well, he has articulation in the tail where you can actually rotate the tail. He also has articulation, I thought there was a second one there, but it's not. But as you can see, he's got 2 holes in his tail. And what does holes usually mean when you got a rubbery tail? It means you can bend the tail as well. And I think that's awesome. You can either have the tail out, or when I had him, I just had him with the tail bent up. So I mean, I like the fact that they've given you an articulated tail as well. I think that's awesome. I'm going to wrap it up here though. I don't want to talk too much about it. I mean, I could probably keep going for the next 5 minutes about how cool this figure is. Definitely, to me, this is the selling figure of this set, and the Rhino I think is a really, really close second. Just to give you guys a size comparison, I'll bring in Spider-Man. See, I mean, size-wise, they're appropriately about the same size from one another. But definitely, if you haven't picked up this set and you can find it somewhere, you want to pick up this set for sure. I mean, just because of the Lizard and the Rhino. I mean, great figures. And then the Vulture, I think, is a good third runner-up. And nice. I mean, that's all I got to say is nice. But there you have a toy spot on the very cool Marvel Legends Fearsome Foes Lizard. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this 5-part series. And stay tuned for many more reviews. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.